The city of Circle Pines had its day in court as the state Supreme Court heard the city's case against Anoka County over the appointment of managers to the Rice Creek Watershed Board. What began as a battle to decide who gets to decide about water continued as a battle over language. In 2019, the city of Circle Pines submitted its list of 3 names for Anoka County commissioners to consider for replacing Pat Priner of Columbus on the Rice Creek Watershed Board of Managers. The county instead decided to reappoint Priner. More than 3 years later, the city took its case as to why it thinks the county didn't follow state statute to the Minnesota Supreme Court. According to state law, cities have to submit a list of nominations at least 60 days before the end of a manager's term, 3 names to be exact, and that the county can nominate or reappoint if no names come in.
Aren't you essentially demanding that because the city of Circle Pines was the only city that actually submitted a list, that under the shall clause, the county is required to select a nominee from the city's list? Is that your position?
Not entirely, Your Honor. The city's position is that the county must follow the statutorily prescribed procedures in the appointment. And what that means is that the nominations come first.
What happened is that the county considered their nominees and decided that reappointing Ms. Patricia Priner would give better hydrologic representation.
The challenge we're having, I think, with this case is both parties claim the statute is unambiguous, but both parties reach dramatically different interpretations of it.
The statute can only be ambiguous if there are 2 competing reasonable interpretations, and the county's interpretation is simply not reasonable.
Your argument rises and falls on whether or not we buy that the article "the" means all cities must participate.
It largely rises and falls on that, and the other key element is giving effect and reading the may provision harmoniously.
Circle Pines also contends that the county didn't actually consider its list, despite the commissioners voting only 5-2 to reappoint Priner. Attorney Kelly argued that while there may have been some discussion, there is no dissent or discussion reflected in minutes from county meetings 3 years ago.
We're not asking the appointment by this court of one of its nominees. We're not asking this court to make the determination of fairly represent. So what the city is seeking in this action is a determination that the statute requires the county to consider the city's nominees first under the framework the city has brought forth to this court for interpreting the statute.
Circle Pines city leaders told me they expect a decision in a matter of months, perhaps several months. The suit had nothing to do with the decision last month to reappoint Steve Wagamon, also of Columbus, to the Watershed Board, despite a joint resolution from 7 cities to submit a list of 3 names to the county board.